said some pretty harsh things about President Trump on that debate stage. And so people are wondering if you were lying when you raised your hand to say you would support him, even if he were in jail.
I raised my hand on that stage.
Can you raise your hand with us to say that you would support President Trump, even if he was in jail?
I raised my hand on that stage. I raised my hand because the Republican nominee is better than a President Kamala Harris. And I will say that every day. But let me say something past that. Because I don't say harsh things out of being personal. I'm not that type of person. I speak hard truths. So I had a great working relationship with President Trump. We did a lot of great work in terms of foreign policy. The reason I was able to get out of there without a tweet was because I told him the truth. So when he was doing something good, I rallied, I worked hard, I tried to serve our country the very best I could. And when he was doing something wrong, he'll tell you, I showed up in his office or I picked up the phone and I would say, you cannot do this. Instead, you could do X, Y, or Z. I always gave him options. And he would always say, well, how do you see that playing out? And I would tell him. So he appreciated that I wasn't a yes person to him. When I decided to run after watching the debacle in Afghanistan, after seeing what inflation was doing to our American families, and after we lost the midterms. That was my breaking point. When we lost the midterms, and I knew that we had lost the Senate, that was it. I knew for the sake of my kids and yours that we needed to do something. And so I stand by that. So the only thing I've ever said about Trump is where I disagree with him. We had $8 trillion worth of spending on his watch. And through that, Republicans and Democrats spent like drunken sailors. And our kids will never forgive us for that if we don't get that under control. He did a great job getting Republicans and Democrats to realize the threat in China. But he only focused on trade. He missed the fact they were infiltrating our country by buying our land, by going through our universities, by stealing our intellectual property, and he didn't do anything about it. I disagree on the fact that he thinks, let Putin have whatever part of Ukraine he wants. No, because guess what? China's going to think they can have whatever part of Taiwan, and then that's coming to us. So anything I disagree with the president on, it's on policy. I actually called him when I was running for president for two reasons. One, it was the right thing to do. He had given me the job. And two, I wanted him to know I was in it to win it. I told him that we needed a new generational leader, that we needed to leave the negativity and the baggage of the past, and we needed to move forward in our country. And I stand by that. And so while I think he was the right president at the right time, and I support many of his policies, I think it's time for our country to move forward because we can't continue to be living in the past.